Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Casa Grande's City Council meeting on this November 7th. It is 7 o'clock, so I'll call the meeting to order. Our first item of business is our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd ask you to remain standing for both. Tonight we have Pastor Pruitt from the Cowboy Church. Pastor, thank you for being here, and please approach the podium. And would you do... Yep.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here. Would you bow your heads and hearts with me as we pray? Father, thank you again for this day. Father, thank you for this great city, for the way that you have blessed through so many years. Father, I pray for this city council, for our mayor as they meet this evening. Father, thank you for each one of these men and women, for the responsibilities that you've entrusted to them. Father, I pray that you have blessed them this evening. I pray that you have blessed these proceedings. Father, we often ask ourselves, how should we pray? And so, Father, I do pray tonight that as decisions are made, that they would be made with every citizen in mind, with the impact that it makes on our community, men and women and boys and girls. Father, I also pray that we would sometimes stop and ask the question, what is it that you would like to do with our city? Father, help us to listen, help us to honor you with our lives and the decisions we make. And I humbly ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Matt. All right, let the roll call show everyone is here except for Mr. Powell. Would anybody offer an
Move to excuse. Second.
I have a motion and a second to excuse Mr. Powell from tonight's meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, please mark him excused. On the minutes tonight, Lisa, would you mind?
Yes, Mayor McFarland, I move to approve the City Council minutes for October 17, 2022, and accepting the minutes from the Casa Grande Fire Personnel Retirement Board, October 11th, the Casa Grande Planning and Zoning Commission, September 1st, and Casa Grande Youth Commission, September 10th, and the Community Service Advisory Board on August 25th, as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Unanimously approved. Next is item D, claims against the city. Matt?
Mayor McFarland, I move to accept the claims dated October 12th through November 1st, 2022.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, I abstain.
Okay. Note, Lisa, abstention or abstention, whatever they call it. She abstained.
So noted.
All right. Next is our meeting agenda. I don't have any changes from me. Does anybody else have anything you want to change on tonight's agenda? Anything from staff? Larry?
We have no changes, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. No special presentations, so that takes us to consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine matters and will be enacted by one motion and one roll call vote of the council. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests, in which event that item or the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda. Is there anything on here that anyone wants to remove from the consent agenda? Anyone from the public? Staff? All right, seeing none, then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve as accepted.
Second.
All All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next is item H, which is our public comments portion of the meeting. And this is where any member of the public has an opportunity to approach the council and speak directly to the council. You will have 3 minutes. And also, I would ask that you state your name and your address for the records. Anyone? Okay, well, seeing none, then I will close the public comment section and we'll move to item I, award of contracts. I-1, Chief?
Mr. Mayor, Lieutenant Palmer's going to present.
Mr. Mayor, Council, good evening.
Good evening.
Staff recommends the mayor and city council authorize staff to execute contracts and issue purchase orders for 2 model year 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe police pursuit vehicles and enter into agreements and issue purchase orders as necessary for the upfit and equipping of these 2 vehicles. The total amount for which spending authority is being requested under this action is $140,644.42, which includes both vehicles and their upfits. And with that, I can entertain any questions.
Anyone have any questions? Oh, yeah, Matt, go ahead.
We can't let Lieutenant Palmer get off that easy, but. No, just, are these available, or are we still, do we know what the time frame is, or is it gonna be like everything else and we're?
The
kinda
good news
waiting?
is these vehicles are on the ground.
Okay, great. That was it, easy one.
Softball. All right, thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, seeing no other questions, then I will entertain a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5479, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from Courtesy Chevrolet for the purchase of 2 Chevrolet Tahoe police pursuit vehicles, accepting a quote from MHQ of Arizona to provide uplifting services for police vehicles, authorizing expenditure of public funds, authorizing execution of contracts or purchase orders to complete the project.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve Resolution 5479 as presented.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next item is item I-2. This is consider an ordinance number 3354. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, the Police Department requests authorization from Mayor and City Council to accept grant funding from the United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services hiring program in the amount of $1,250,000 to fund the hiring of 10 additional police officers aimed at increasing the agency's community policing capacity as well as crime-fighting efforts. As council knows better than anybody, since 2018, our city has attracted at least 14,000 new residents, and we have built 4,656 new dwellings, single-family dwellings in that time frame. But for over the last decade, our authorized strength has remained at 80. And with the growth in business, the growth in residential, our residential population that we service, as well as our service population, who people are coming in here to work, has also grown steadily. With that in mind, in June of 2022, the police department applied for a grant through the U.S. Department of Justice COPS hiring program, normally just called the COPS grant, to hire an additional 10 police officers. In October of this year, we were given a letter of award letter on October 13th that stated we were granted our request for $1,250,000 was approved. We understand that this funding does not cover the entire cost of hiring the police officers, but we do know it does lessen the financial burden that's placed on the city. Our hopes with this additional officers, we would be able to increase the number of officers assigned to our team policing initiative. We would also increase the department's ability to conduct secondary investigations once somebody makes a report. As well as that, we would be able to handle certain types of calls that are harder for us now, that deals with the issues that impact the quality of life. This award provides up to 75% of the approved entry-level salaries and fringe benefits of full-time officers for 36 months, with a minimum 25% city cash match requirement and a maximum federal share of $125,000 per officer position. The award is for 5 years in length to hire 10 officers, to allow for recruitment and hiring. At that point, once they're hired, you have 36 months to expend the $125,000. At the conclusion of that 36 months, or sooner, when the money runs out, if it's exhausted, the city must agree to retain all sworn officer positions for a minimum of 12 months. This funding that has been awarded to us upon your approval may not be used to replace local funds the city otherwise would have devoted to sworn officer hiring, and these officers must be in addition to the ones we would already hire. In effect, that would take our authorized strength from 80 to 90 if this was approved. And I know you'll have a bunch of questions on this, I'm sure, but before we get into that, you were provided with a spreadsheet that took us out to 4 years, I believe, on the spreadsheet. And at that point, we put figures down because we had yet to talk to the city manager's office and HR about how we would spend this $125,000. And I think the spreadsheet that Deputy Chief Ramirez provided was almost half and half the first 2 years and spread it out over 4 years. In discussions with the city manager and HR and finance, we believe it would be more effective to use the 75% the first year and the 25% the second year. And therefore, we feel like the first year would have very minimal impact on our general fund. And we would be able to use some of the Prop 207 money in addition to the grant, to the COPS grant money to fund the first year of these officers. I will tell council that we've had, as our command staff and also in conversation with Larry, we do have a plan for these officers on where we would place them. So we wouldn't just put them into a black hole. We do have some plan in our mind, depending on how soon we can hire, that where we would position these officers within the police department to better enable us to enhance our community policing, as well as do some projects that currently we would like to do, but we do it on a very, very limited scale due to staffing issues at times. So with that, Brian and I would be glad to answer any questions.
Go ahead, Mr. Lavender.
I just have two questions, Chief. The 36 months, does that start the date of hire or the date of completion of the academy?
Date of hire.
And if an officer were not to complete the academy or quit during those 36 months, do we retain the position and the funding for that position?
The funding that was not spent yet, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Bob?
Only comments, I can't tell you how exciting this is. I've looked forward to this for years, to make a major expansion of the department in the funded numbers. And congratulations to you and your staff. I know these grants are not easy to obtain and they're not easy to manage, but thank you for taking it on and bringing these numbers in.
Well, that was Deputy Chief Ramirez submitted that grant, so. Thank you. That was his submittal.
Yeah, congratulations.
Good job.
Matt?
Thanks. I have a couple of questions. Are we gonna have to buy more cars and patrol vehicles, do you think, for this?
We know that there's additional costs with adding staff, and the answer, the honest answer to that would be eventually yes.
Okay, I mean, we can plan for it.
And we've talked to that with the city manager as well as the finance director, and feel like that would, we have the DIF funding that would allow us to purchase additional cars for that.
Yeah, and I'm okay. I just want to make sure that, I know you guys are preparing for that because that's going to come up. And my big question, can you get 10 people right now?
Well, and that's one, I'm glad you asked that, Matt, because one thing I wanted to tell council and the mayor that I didn't is we're still going to be picky,
Good.
and we're still not going to take 10 just to have 10. Honestly, I do think we'll get 10. We have, the grant is written in a way that you have 5 years to do that, and then you can ask for the extension for the 36 months on the pay. Obviously, we would like to fill those positions quicker. And the one question of how soon could you get your 10 people if you got them, we're limited as to how many academies, how many seatings in academies. Obviously, we would like to do this sooner than later. But like the next 3 academies right now are January, May, and September. And we feel pretty certain we can get 10 quality people in the first couple year time frame.
That's great news. Because when I talk to people and tell people how many officers we have, that they're surprised at times that we don't have as many as people think we do, because they do a great job and they're everywhere. But I remember having a meeting with you a couple years ago, and you had this plan for building our police department, and I want to thank you, and I guess thank Deputy Chief Ramirez for getting this grant, because we need the officers, and if we're going to get help paying for them for 1 year, 5 years, whatever, that's fantastic. So good job on that, and I'm excited to see your department expand and help serve our citizens, because that gives us time as our city grows that we can get the money budgeted and get more income coming in to keep those guys on, officers on, guys and ladies. So thank you very much for putting this together. It's exciting.
Ma'am.
Donna?
Yes, congratulations. Just for clarification, when you say new officers, these cannot be laterals from other departments, have to be brand new that go through the academy?
They can be laterals.
Okay. And so that would be more cost-effective for us because they've already gone through the academy, correct?
It could be.
Good answer.
Councilman McBride, it would depend on what level they are brought in. I know that with the Prop 207 money, Angels has been using that for personnel costs for people in the academy. So a lot of that would depend on what level they are started at. It would be quicker.
Right, right. And then the other side to that is that, when you talk about internally, taking care of all this, is it going to put more of a strain on your staff that you already have to bring on 10 officers at once like that? I mean, and to handle that grant, because we know how much time it takes to handle a grant of that magnitude.
Sure. So right now we have 9 on FTO, and we're handling that just fine. So I think we can handle 10 similarly as well. As far as the management of the grant, we're fortunate to have Mary Allen on our side. That helps us out with that. So between the police department staff and Mary, I think we're going to be fine.
Thank you.
Great. I just want to say congratulations, and let's see it happen. Thank you both.
Lisa.
And your whole department. Oh, Lisa, go ahead.
I know. Well, ditto on everything, but no, I just wanted to say, because I know, Chief, you've been very patient, and I know you'll make comments here and there to us on how we need staff, but you really have been patient, and the last few programs you've brought to us, you've made sure that it's the right time. And so I appreciate Deputy Chief Ramirez on getting the grant, because obviously it makes it easier for us to approve 10, officers, even though I'm with you, I'm excited about it, I think we need it, you guys do a great job, but it's just gonna offer better, service to our community. So I just thank you for your patience and pushing this forward at the right time, and this really is the right time. But my question too was hiring those 10 officers. I noticed, and I don't think, we haven't done anything, but I noticed some of the other cities are doing incentives and, some type of signing bonus or anything like that. Are you finding, you don't really need to do that? I mean, you're finding you don't really need to. You're getting the candidates that you need.
We, first I'll go back and address your first part. I have a boss that is easy to work with, but he does stress patience. For a while, I thought that was my middle name. So we've worked really well with Larry on this over the last couple of years, and he deserves a lot of credit for where we're at today. As far as incentive bonuses, I think our command staff pretty much, we want people that want to work in Casa Grande. And I don't want somebody that wants to come to Casa Grande for $7,500. Because once that money's spent, they're in Casa Grande. And then they're our problem. So we have not had, we've been really lucky lately, and I think the way we go about it, and the way we recruit people, and the way we bring them into our building and invite their wives to tour our building and bring them in and have one-on-ones with them and talk to them, has great value. And at this point, I really have no interest in offering incentive to anybody. I think this city and the growth that it's experiencing and the people in this city are enough incentive. And if, quite frankly, if that's not good enough for somebody, they can go somewhere else.
And I want to compliment you, because it does, you have been hiring a lot of Casa Grande people. And it seems as though they're staying because they live here and they're passionate about this community. So, we all see that, and thank you for that. So, good job. Thanks.
Yeah, just to echo what Lisa said and what you mentioned, Chief, too, is it's really all the staff. I want to compliment all the staff. I mean, fire department, police department, all of our directors. You all constantly do an amazing job, from the planning to community services to streets. So it's really a team effort. And, Larry, kudos to you for being a good leader and having some good people working for you. So just want to say thank you and keep up the good work. All right, seeing no other comments, then I'll consider an ordinance number, please, Gloria.
Ordinance number 3354, an ordinance of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, authorizing and ratifying the submission of a grant application with the U.S. Department of Justice on behalf of Casa Grande Police Department, authorizing the city manager to accept grant funds from the U.S. Department of Justice for the purpose of the 2022 Community-Oriented Police Services Hiring Program, authorizing the city manager to execute a grant agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice, authorizing the city finance director to accept and disperse funds as necessary, authorizing additional positions within the police department, authorizing the transfer of budget authority, and declaring an emergency.
Mayor McFarland, I would move for approval of ordinance number 3354 as presented.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Proudly, yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next item is I3. This is a resolution number 5480. Kevin, I think this is yours.
Thank you. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council approve a contract with Jim Brown and Sons Roofing Company with a base amount of $56,921 with a contingency of $12,000 for a total not to exceed $68,921. The roofing underlayment at the City Hall has reached the end of its useful life, and through a detailed evaluation process that the proposed contractor went through with the roof, really identified what we needed to do to get the roofing system back to a level where we can have at least, in this case, a 5-year warranty with the workmanship, but the materials that they're using has a 30-year warranty on it. So it's time to do a little roof work here at City Hall. We are asking authorization to go through the statewide job order contract process with the state of Arizona through the Gordian Group, and that's the process that we use to procure Jim Brown and Sons Roofing Company, LLC, for this project. We originally did budget just over $114,000 for this project, and at that time, we didn't know the scope of work, but now we've got the scope of work based on their evaluation. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, anyone?
I got a comment. I was a little concerned there wasn't a bid for this, for local contractors, but I actually called on one of our local contractors, asked him about it, and he says, it's pretty technical work, this part of the building, and Jim Brown and Sons is a very good company, and he said, good price, everything, so there's not a concern, so thanks, Kevin. But he said everything looks good with it.
Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, then I'll call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5480, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from Jim Brown and Sons Roofing Company, Inc. for the City Hall roof repair project, authorizing the expenditure of public funds and authorizing execution of a contract with or purchase order to Jim Brown and Sons Roofing Company, Inc.
Mayor McFarland moved to approve Resolution 5480 as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Can I please get a roll call vote, Gloria?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next is I-4. This is resolution number 5481.
Thank you. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council award a contract to Strand Associates Incorporated for the professional engineering services for roadway improvements for Florence Street at Ash Avenue, roundabout project, an amount not to exceed $150,000. This contract will be to design that roundabout at that intersection at Florence and Ash. The city did go through a request for qualifications process to find a qualified design firm. We only had one submitter to that request. And that's evidence of just how busy some of the companies that we typically use are in this environment, to only get one submitting qualifications. And the total contract amount is $150,000, and that'll get us to where we can put this project out to bid or use another procurement process to get it constructed. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Will this prevent people from crashing into that lady's fence?
It can't hurt.
House.
And on a side note on
Primarily
that,
the fence,
we actually been working with the county, and the county has gone through the warrant process at Peters and Florence Street, or actually Choo Choo at that location, and they are putting a four-way stop in there. So
Okay, good.
that'll be an added deterrent.
That'll just be a
to
stop sign they
speed.
can run then.
But no improvements are guaranteed to
Okay.
slowing traffic down.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for indulging my humor. All right, any questions on this? Be interesting to see how it turns out. All right, seeing no questions or comments, then I'll call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5481, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from Strand Associates, Inc. for professional engineering services for the proposed Florence Street and Ash Avenue roundabout, authorizing the expenditure of public funds, and authorizing execution of a contract with or purchase order to Strand Associates.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve resolution number 5481 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender.
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston.
Yes.
Councilmember McBride.
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman.
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, next is I-5. This is also a resolution. It's resolution number 5482. Kevin?
Thank you. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council award a contract to Hilgart Wilson LLC for the design of the north half of Clayton Road between Burris and Ethington, and the east half of Ethington Road from Clayton Road to Cowtown Road in an amount not to exceed $763,500, but that does include a $100,000 owner's contingency with that contract. The Clayton Road and Ethington Road corridors are located in the portion of the city of Casa Grande and Pinal County that has been identified for large-scale growth with industrial prospects. And if you drive out there, you'll see just what's happening in that area. So these two roadway sections are very pivotal to the success of the construction of those projects. So we'd like to get that designed and constructed as quickly as we can. Hilgart Wilson has been a contractor working with the city and developers, and in this case, made a lot of sense for us to partner with them for the design phase of this project. We have, let's see, excuse me. Pages sticking together. So we did budget adequate funds to cover the cost of this project, both design and construction in this year's CIP. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? I do have one, Kevin. So they're going to design the half-street improvements, basically, the north for Clayton and the east for Ethington.
Correct.
And is it all of Ethington?
So it's
From the
It's-
railroad
it's
tracks
Ethington.
down to the highway?
It's Ethington from Clayton north to Cowtown Road.
Okay, north.
It will not include the railroad crossing. We would have to do a separate project to work with the railroad for that segment. And then Clayton Road between
Burris and Ethington.
Burris and Ethington.
So, and maybe this is a Dwayne question, but is it, we do these half-street improvements and these engineering for half-streets. Is it that much more to do the whole street? From an engineering standpoint, this is just the engineering portion, right, not the construction?
Well, anytime you change the scope of the project, you're going to increase the cost. Is it double? Absolutely not. It's going to be something less than that. But with our half-street improvements, we're not making the design of the other half any more difficult. And they design it in such a way that they're only required to build one half of the street,
Right.
which in this case, the city's picking up that burden, but we'll make sure it handles their traffic that they know they're going to generate through their project.
I just don't like half-streets.
Nor do we, but money doesn't fall out of the sky very often, so.
Somehow we gotta figure that out. These half-streets are killing me. All right, sorry, just had to give some pushback. Anybody else have any comments or questions? Just me? Okay. All right,
You said it well.
yeah. All right, then I'll entertain a resolution, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5482, a resolution of the council of the city of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from Hildegard Wilson LLC for professional engineering services for the Pinal Tech Park roadway improvement project, authorizing the expenditure of public funds and authorizing execution of a contract with or purchase order to Hildegard Wilson LLC.
Mayor McFarland, I move for approval of resolution number 5482 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender,
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston,
Yes.
Councilmember McBride,
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman,
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes, with the caveat that I'm not happy that we're only doing half a street. Larry?
Yes, Bob.
Okay. All right, next item, which actually is our last item, is item I-6. Chief, you're last but not least.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, Council. I want to talk to you guys about Resolution 5483. Fire Department staff is recommending to approve the award of a contract to Emergency Vehicle Group, EVG. That name should be familiar to you now. It's the same company that built Ambulance 1 and is building Ambulance 3. So this one will be Ambulance 4. And the important thing about this one is this will only be built and purchased by us contingent upon us receiving the CON.
Okay.
So if the CON, if we're unsuccessful in that process, this ambulance will be sold to some other entity, not us. And we won't lose any money or pay any money for it. This was approved through the city's capital improvement program. Like I said, it's $290,815.81. We are purchasing this through the Houston-Galveston Area Council Cooperative Service Agreement. And the CON hearing is complete. So now we're at the step where we're waiting for the judge to make a decision and forward that to the Arizona Department of Health Services. So we're kind of on a holding pattern right now until we find out what happens with that. Ambulance 3 is going to be ready early. It's going to be ready on December 1st, so we'll be picking that up first week of December, end of November. Other than that, unless you have any other questions about this.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Seeing none, then we'll call for a resolution number, please, Gloria.
Resolution number 5483, a resolution of the Council of the City of Casa Grande, Arizona, accepting a proposal from Emergency Vehicle Group, Inc. for the purchase of a 2022 City Met ambulance, authorizing expenditure of public funds and authorizing execution of a contract with or purchase order to Emergency Vehicle Group, Inc.
Mayor McFarland, I move to approve Resolution 5483 as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Gloria, can I please get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Lavender,
Yes.
Councilmember Huddleston,
Yes.
Councilmember McBride,
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilmember Herman,
Yes.
Mayor McFarland.
Yes. All right, that concludes most of tonight's business. What we have left is the reports from council. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Lavender, or as I'm looking at Bob.
I was going to say, that's a good trick.
He was calling you, Mr. Lemon.
Bob.
Start with me?
Mr. Huddleston, yes, please.
Very brief. Once again, and thoroughly enjoyed the ride on the fire truck in the parade. And it was nice getting out and recognizing Veterans Day. I even saw Anthony out there waving. And also just a reminder to get out and vote tomorrow. That's all I have.
Okay. Lisa?
Yes, I know the parade was great. The mayor had a little facial during the parade. He was getting all the steam that was
I did.
coming into his face the whole time.
I hope the fire engine's okay.
I know. No, but, and it is so great. What I love about that parade is just seeing all of our veterans and how proud they are with their medals and their, all their badges and everything. It's just so nice to, a day to celebrate them and their service. So that was really nice. The Councilmember McBride and I are part of that women's leadership group with Judge Juarez and Tisa Ellsworth, and we had our little, I don't know, what do you want to call it, our meeting last week, and it was on self-care, and so that's really nice. I think that's right now it's a group of about 20 people, I think, of city employees. So it's kind of building, and I think people are getting excited about that. So for all you department heads that are encouraging your employees to participate, we appreciate that. We meet early in the morning, 7 o'clock, but it's nice for this group to have just conversations and mentorship and things like that. So it's only been the second meeting, so we're looking forward to that in the future. Wanted to squash any rumors that you may have heard about me. But yes, I am going to be a Dancing for Our Star person for the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh!
So I know it's going to be hilarious. Yeah, it's for the kids. I guess that's what Matt Lindbergh has been all over me, and the mayor, we went to the dancer reveal Friday, and the mayor is already making it very competitive with Maricopa. So he has insisted, he is on us, Casa Grande people, to make sure we win.
That's right.
So.
We have a bet, Maricopa.
Yeah, he made the bet with the Maricopa, because there's 2 city council members and, you know, a superintendent there, and so it's myself
It's
and
5 and 5,
Louis
5 on 5.
Sanchez, yeah, 5 on 5. His daughter, a school board member, our superintendent from Casa Grande. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. So if you want a really good laugh, come March 25th, okay? It'll be a lot of fun. And then today we had a transit advisory committee interviews. We have some great candidates for that, so looking forward to that, as well as P&Z. And that's it for me.
All right, Matt?
Thank you. Had a great time at the Veterans Parade. The mayor's getting better at driving the fire truck, not quite
Didn't
fully
give you-
qualified yet. Maybe get some training from the department on that clutch work.
Can't find that third gear.
Yeah. But anyway, a lot of
No
fun.
wonder it was Steve.
Beautiful day and great way to honor our veterans, and it's a totally volunteer parade, which is really neat. The community comes together for that. Went to the Podium Club at Atessa last week. They had a free event for citizens, really neat, watch the races, everything. And this coming up Friday on Veterans Day, they are having a fundraiser to raise money for the Pinal County Veterans Memorial
In
Park.
Casa Grande.
And so you can go out there and donate and watch races and have a good time. It should be a beautiful day. I got to do the ribbon cutting at Trinity Lutheran Church that day for the chamber and for the mayor. And it was great. They moved to a new location on Treckle, and really nice. And they have a preschool there and everything, so it's a neat thing because of how important, you know, our faith community is to our whole community. So they were really excited that we were there. And then next Wednesday at the Neon Sign Park is the chamber mixer and Greatest of the Grande combined. So it'll be 5 o'clock in Neon Sign Park. And then on Thursday is the dedication of the new statues at the rec center from the Mosaic Committee and everyone else. So I just love those statues, so that'll be fun. That's it.
Those are pretty amazing. I was not at the Veterans Day Parade because that is the same day as our annual adoption day for Pinal County, and we had 47 children adopted into forever homes, many of them from the Casa Grande area, so that was a great reason for me to miss. I did notice that Gene Lehman was not driving, and so we did not run out of gas, I assume. Also, just wanted to mention Gene Lehman's 90th birthday celebration that took place. Many of us were there, and it was really great to honor him and have some of the firefighters there, so that was nice. Congratulations, city staff, victim services from the city attorney's office. The children's event for the garden last week was just really great. Community service assisted with that. Chief McQuarrie was there, and it was just really nice to see all of the kids out there supporting the effort. And I will say that city staff, I know how hard it is when you have to have a plan B, when once in a lifetime it rains in our city. They did an awesome job at working around that, and it was just really nice. So thank you for the invitation. That's it.
Mr. Lavender.
I wanted to thank the chamber for the community showcase they did. They did an excellent job. It was great to go out there and see our businesses showcased. And Friday was the Chamber of Commerce Day here in Casa Grande. It was a little cold in the morning at the start of their golf tournament, but it was a beautiful day, and congratulations. Mayor McFarland's team won with a score of 50, and the rumors are true. They did toss a couple balls in the hole, but it was legal in some of the fundraising they did. Congratulations, Mayor, on winning that tournament.
My 2 sleeves of golf balls.
Bragging rights, though.
That's true. It's bragging rights for next year. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Thanks for embarrassing me, Jeff. I was reading something today, and I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to share, is that they've done an education study here in the state of Arizona, and based on the numbers of people and new jobs that are coming into the state, and based on our graduation rates of our high school students, I guess the average now across the state's only about 46% go on to college. And so they use that number, and then they use the number of jobs coming and the number of baccalaureate, or I shouldn't say baccalaureate, but bachelor's degrees that are needed. And we're going to have a deficit the next 5 years of 26,000 employees with bachelor degrees, a deficit, a shortage, not enough, annually for the next 4 or 5 years. So we're a bit of a, I'd say, emergency situation. So obviously that doesn't count importing new jobs and importing people, but that's still a big number. So we need to encourage our young people to go get that 4-year degree, because there will be a lot of jobs out there available. The PRTA, which you all get to vote on tomorrow, well, if you haven't voted already, did put out a press release this last week. And as the chairman of the PRTA, I wanted to kind of read a little bit of this just so that people know that there is a plan in place. So at our November 1st meeting, the Board of Directors of the Pinal Regional Transportation Authority approved a plan to work with Pinal County businesses and entities and the Arizona Department of Revenue, which is affectionately known as ADOR, to help recover transportation excise taxes that were collected between 2018 and 2022, to ensure that they are made available for transportation purposes in Pinal County. And if you haven't been following the Arizona Supreme Court decision this past, I think it was March, which deemed the tax as the transportation excise tax as being illegal, and that even though the voters approved it in 2017, it's not valid as a result. There's approximately $87 million of tax receipts that must be refunded. So the Arizona Department of Revenue has no idea how they're going to do that. That's the word I got last week. And that businesses and other entities in Pinal County paid the transaction privilege tax, which is affectionately also known as TPT, to ADOR for 4 years, but no funds were ever made available to the PRTA due to the lawsuit and that lasted for more than 3 years. So that being said, under this plan, we are going to work with Arizona Department of Revenue, we as in the PRTA and a couple other entities, and give the option and request that the monies from the businesses be donated to the Central Arizona Governments, or the CAG, which is a legitimate 501c3 agency, and that then those dollars would stay in Pinal County and they would be used for transportation as they were originally intended. So there is a plan out there. If you're interested, you can go to the county's website and also to CAG's website, or you can go to pinalrta.org to get more information. So it's a big deal, and so we're trying to figure it out, and but I wanted to make sure everybody was kind of up to speed on that. Veterans Day this coming Friday, there's a lot of other events going on. HOHP is going to do their flag raising at 11 o'clock, so if you want to go to that, it's down here, I think it's 102 Pinal Avenue?
Florence.
Or Florence, excuse me, it's on Florence. It's down right across, near downtown.
It's right, Florence Street in Florence.
Yeah, Florence Street and Florence Boulevard. So they're going to do their flag raising for their veterans event, plus there's some other activities that are going to go on through the day. And then also out at the Stadium Club, or the Podium Club, they're going to also do a Veterans Day event out there, and I'll be speaking at that. So Anyway, a lot going on from last weekend to this weekend. I won't go through all of it because most of you have hit it. I've got 2 more ribbon cuttings this week, one at Agape Hospice, and then also one at Throwbacks. So Throwbacks is opening, they're open now, and it's in the Rodeo Commons Shopping Center. It's at Truckle and Rodeo. They're way back in the corner there, but they are open. You can throw an axe and have a beer at the same time. Good luck with that. Anyway, but their grand opening is this Thursday at 3 o'clock, so if anybody's interested. That's all I have. Anybody else have anything else? Okay. Seeing none, then I'll adjourn tonight's meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming.